Hi, everybody. It's episode 435 of PodQuest.
Hey!
It is Wednesday, December 14th, 2022. I am Chris. With me is Druten.
Hello.
And Walnut.
Hi, I'm here.
How you guys doing?
You know, I'm doing.
You excited for the holidays?
I've done zero Christmas shopping.
I say.
Man, y'all are slackers.
I have had zero money for Christmas shopping.
Slacker.
I have had zero money for Christmas shopping. Like, it is what it is. I'll get it done this weekend.
Dude, just buy cookies, or make cookies for people. That's your Christmas present.
If my family would accept cookies as Christmas gifts, I totally would.
Well, maybe your family should stop being greedy.
I'm doing cookie day. I'm taking off Friday so I can do cookies Friday and Saturday and deliver them to all my friends. But that's primarily their gifts. Maybe like a $10 gift card for each of the couples, and the kids will get something. But that's last year I did a little bit more than just cookies. I can't do a little bit more than just cookies. It's just cookies this year. I haven't done any family Christmas shopping. I have no idea what to get anybody in my family. I just don't know.
Everybody likes cookies, man.
Not when everybody makes cookies. That's the thing with my family. Every part of the family makes cookies. So I can't give them cookies because they already have their own cookies.
Well, then trade in your family and get a new one.
You know, if I could, I probably would.
Look, there is nothing saying you can't just cut yourself off from your family and just adopt a different one. There's no rule.
I could try. I could see how that works.
Like, who's going to stop you?
No one would stop me, but I don't know how, like, the whole process of adopting a new family is. And
it doesn't have to be a legal adoption.
Yeah.
I just go into a family's household on Christmas. Hey, I'm here for Christmas.
Yeah.
Just a random family. It doesn't matter who it is.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, let's be real. You're the middle child. They don't need you. So, like...
Yeah, no, it's 100% true.
They have the oldest. They have the youngest. The oldest has children.
They won't even know I'm gone.
Yeah. I mean, are you even invited to Christmas?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything about Christmas or Christmas breakfast.
They might just need you to go over to let out the dogs. Probably.
It makes sense.
Oh, fun times, everybody. Rich, what's on the agenda?
So there's this thing called the Game Awards. It's this little indie thing that happens every year. That happened. There was a bunch of trailers. And the wrong game got Game of the Year, but who's to say what game that was, and who's to say that it got Game of the Year that was wrong? It's me. I'm saying Elden Ring doesn't deserve to be Game of the Year.
That's subjective.
But, I don't know. I don't think it deserves Game of the Year. However, it was the Game Awards. We're going to talk about some of the trailers, some of their awards potentially and whatnot. Then there was a demo dropped for Forspoken, that PlayStation game. It's also going to be on PC, but the demo is only available on PlayStation. That I played, and I believe Cobb played.
I did.
I don't know if Druten played it.
I did not.
Then I started playing the Mega Man X games on stream. Started with Mega Man X, or X1, whatever you want to call it. The first Mega Man X game, this past Monday. Gonna talk about Mega Man X, and then, me and Cobb finished watching Wednesday. I started and finished watching Wednesday. So we'll talk about that too.
Time permitting.
Yeah.
Bunch of trailers. No IGN. I don't want to be a Plus member.
You should probably be a Plus member.
God.
They just fired a bunch of people.
They did.
Give them money and they won't have to fire more people.
No, that's not true. Apparently, they had a more profitable year this year than they have in the last 5 years, and they still fucking fired a bunch of people because Ziff Davis is a bunch of douchebags.
Sounds about right.
Fucking.
So why are you using IGN then?
Because they still need the clicks.
I mean, if they're a bunch of douchebags, why support them?
Because Adam Bankhurst is not a douchebag. He's a hard-working journalist.
But if IGN closes, Adam Bankhurst could probably find a job somewhere else or start his own company, and then you don't have to support a douchebag.
There are not a lot of games media jobs out there.
Just don't be afraid of Kotaku, man. Kotaku's out there.
Kotaku's run by an even worse fucking company.
I don't really go to any of these sites.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go to like Game Rant sometimes.
Yeah.
Like if I'm searching things, Game Rant is like the top suggested occasionally, and I'll be like, all right, sure, and I'll click Game Rant.
That's just because they pay the most for their SEO.
Yeah.
I don't even... Fuck, who does own Kotaku?
I don't know that anyone owns Kotaku anymore.
I can't imagine they are their own entity.
No,
they're still owned by the same people that own Deadspin and Gizmodo.
Yeah, but that is what. So that's always been the case. Like they've always been one conglomerate, but like got sold off, and then to some big company that then they spun back off out of.
So it's Geo Media owns them, which is a holding company. But either way, yeah, all these companies are owned by bigger companies that suck. That's the moral of the story. But that notwithstanding, Final Fantasy 16 has a release date. It's not going to come out on that release date, but it has a release date.
You never know, though. It could.
No, June is fucking loaded. There's no way this game comes out in June.
Is it loaded? Are there a bunch of other games coming out in June?
Yeah, I noticed a couple others on this list that were all slated for June or summer at the very least. But yeah, so June 22nd is when Final Fantasy 16 is scheduled to release. There was also like a new trailer released for it, which looks like more Final Fantasy 16. Like, I'm probably going to try this game regardless.
Cobb, your mic just like died.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you sound okay now.
Oh, that's weird.
I lost like half of what you said.
Yeah.
I don't know if your Audacity recorded it fine, but I missed like half of what you said.
Yeah, no, Audacity was working fine. That's weird. But yeah, I was just saying they made a new trailer, and I will probably play that regardless.
Well, I haven't really. I don't remember if I watched a new trailer for 16, but if I remember correctly, it's like very Souls-like.
It has a little bit of that like aesthetic because it's back to like actual fantasy.
Mm-hmm. But like, I think it's like even like action RPG style combat. Like I said, I didn't watch a new. I might have. I can't fully remember if I watched a new trailer. I only watched a handful of things from the Game Awards.
I don't think they've actually shown us gameplay yet.
I think we did get game. I
definitely remember there being a trailer that had like maybe fake health bars in it.
So that was like the giant kaiju battle, like where it was like a summon versus like another like giant monster.
Yes.
But I don't know if they showed us any actual like normal ass combat because Square Enix not real good at showing that stuff off. Like they show a lot of just cutscene. But like I'm an idiot and I will try a Final Fantasy game regardless. And if it's Souls-like, I will promptly drop off of it and not play it anymore.
Yeah,
like that is unfortunately the way that will go. It's a shame. Like I like the concept of like the Souls games. I just don't have the I want to do this 1,000 times to get good at it mentality.
See, I don't know if it's going to fully be the like that difficulty level, but I mean, I don't know. This trailer looks like there's a decent amount of like staged gameplay.
Yeah, I actually did not watch the Game Awards trailer. So I don't know what was in that.
Yeah, I mean, there's some, like full rendered scenes, and then there's like, it seemingly looked like in-engine gameplay stuff. Like very brief though, very early on in the beginning, very brief. But it's all action, and it's primarily one, it looks like, not even primarily, it looks like it's just one character. Like, it's not RPG at all. Or, it's RPG, but it's action RPG.
But I mean, the last couple of games, like, the other characters have just been with you, and it could, like, you could still have a party, and they're just not really showing that part of it, because maybe the party members are just kind of doing their own thing.
So,
maybe.
Adam, if you're watching the trailer that's on the PlayStation's YouTube channel, at a minute 27, they definitely show you that you have a party.
Yeah, I had just gotten to that point when they were doing that big fight against, like, the lightning dude or the dragon or whatever. Yeah.
Whether or not you actually have much control over them, who knows?
It might be like similar to the Gambit system of 12, or something.
I don't
like
remember. In 15, you didn't have any real control over your party members, right?
No, I mean you could. I think you could. You could assign tasks to them, but I don't really remember.
Yeah, it's been 7 years.
how it worked. I don't fully remember.
I just remember Noctis, you just kind of flew around with him a bunch.
Yeah, that was, honestly, it was the worst. It was both fun, but bad.
There was no depth
at the same time. Yeah.
Like, while I'm not a fan of the Souls style of gameplay, like, I would at least like a little depth to the combat. Mm-hmm. If it's going to be like action RPG combat, at least.
Yeah. But yeah, so it was, we got a release date in June that you don't think you're going to get.
No, I mean, I don't know. This game's already been, like, unofficially delayed a few times. And I just don't see it actually coming out. I feel like they announced it for June so that they could release it in September.
I mean, maybe. As long as it's finished, which it won't be, but as long as it's finished.
Hey, at least they probably won't cut out a whole bunch of stuff and tack it on as DLC.
If they do that, I'm over Final Fantasy.
So I believe isn't the dude from Final Fantasy 14 like in charge of this one?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, so it's not the guy who made 15. So that's at least a positive. And the guy in charge of 16 or 14, you know, he made good on that disaster of a game.
Yeah, he did.
Aside from that, though, they revealed a new Armored Core, Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon.
I'm so excited for this. I haven't played Armored Core since like maybe 2 or 3. I don't even remember. Like,
well, you missed 4, 5, and 5.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably like Armored Core 1. I honestly is the only one I ever played. And then just like was never able to get the others or something. I don't 100% remember, but I just remember in my childhood loving Armored Core, and then they kind of just disappeared because it's been 20 years and we've only gotten 4 of them. 4 of them since then. So I'm like, ooh, a next gen Armored Core. This is gonna be fantastic. I hope. And I hope it works.
It is
will
still
it
from...
be? I was gonna say, will it be a Souls-like game?
So apparently Miyazaki, he is directing this, but said,
hell yeah.
But he said that it is not going to be Souls styled.
Yeah, it's not, because that's the thing though. From Software has always been making Armored Core. They're not going to turn it into Souls style because that's what they're known for now. I mean, they're going to keep it Armored Core. It's going to be highly modded robots with mission-based levels, most likely. If they make this open world, I don't know if I'll do it.
And so to be fair, they have not made an Armored Core game in a decade.
Yeah.
So who knows what they're going to do with a new one? But still, he said that's not where he's going with it. And Armored Core was the first game, I believe, that Miyazaki worked on. Mm-hmm. Or at least the first one he worked on for From Software. Oh, wow. Apparently they made a Gundam game and a Monster Hunter game on 3DS.
What, From Software made a Monster Hunter game?
That's what Wikipedia is telling me. Monster Hunter Diary, Poka Poka, Iru Village DX. It honestly, just hovering over it, the art, it's a Japanese-only game for sure.
Yeah.
It has, it definitely looks like Monster Hunter meets Animal Crossing.
Mm-hmm. I think I vaguely remember hearing about that. I don't know. But yeah, it's giant robot, giant mechs. You know damn well they better do better with at least sound design. I don't know how they've been in recent ones, but I actually was watching a streamer play Armored Core 1 yesterday, and there's no music during the mission. Not even like ambiance or scenery music. It's just fucking dead quiet in Armored Core 1.
Well, I mean, the first Armored Core was from 1997.
Yeah, but there was still game music in 97.
Yeah, but
there was game music in 86.
There was 700 megabits on that fucking CD. They used it for mechs.
I'm sure they had enough space to add some... Because there's music throughout the whole rest of the game. There's music in the menus. There's music during conversation stuff. It's just the level, the missions don't have music on them. You hear the sound effects of the mech moving around and chunking through while he's walking or hovering around. You hear, but there's no music. Absolutely zero music. It was wild.
Are you sure maybe that wasn't just the version the person was playing?
I mean, he was playing a ROM.
That's what I mean. It could have been just a broken ROM.
I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but it's just. I mean, I do remember playing back in the day. If there was music, it was very quiet.
You don't even remember which one you played.
Yeah, but I do remember playing it, and I don't remember hearing a lot of, I remember all the sound effects, more so than any music in that game. I remember the sound effects.
Well, now we know what was important, the sound effects.
I mean, but if there were music, then maybe I wouldn't have heard the sound effects as much.
Maybe that's the point of there being no music if there was...
Exactly.
But that's so... as I was sitting here watching, I'm like, this is kind of so not good. There's no music. There's not even an ambiance music of making it tense or scary or anything. It's just literally nothing. And just as they're hovering around on their 4-legged hover mech. Okay. And I was just like,
maybe
wow.
Armored Core is not actually a good game and everyone's nostalgia for it is misplaced.
I don't know. There's been 4 others. There's been 5 others. So they just haven't made it in 10 years because they've been working on Soulsborns.
Because Armored Core stopped selling because it was a bad series.
I'm pretty sure the last 3 did not really sell particularly well.
If I remember correctly, I know at least... I think they were all also Xbox only.
Nope. The last one before this was PS3 and 360.
Okay. Jeez, PS3 and 360?
2012, it was before PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah, that's wild that we haven't had one in a full gaming generation.
Yeah. Actually, I hadn't really thought about that way. And then the one before that was 2007 in the US.
And to kind of counter your argument though, we didn't have a Crash Bandicoot game since PlayStation 2 until PlayStation 4.
No, that's not true.
There was no PlayStation 3 Crash Bandicoot game.
No, it was on Xbox.
Unless like Crash Team Racing. Was it on Xbox?
Yeah, there was Crash Mind Over Mutant.
That one doesn't count.
Why?
It's not part of the Insane Trilogy.
Yeah, well, that's because it was not one of the original Crash Bandicoots.
Mind Over Mutant?
Yeah, that's what it was called. It was 2008. And then the Insane Trilogy was 2017. And then Crash 4 was 2020. Oh, and there was Crash of the Titans also.
Oh, God, I remember that one.
I just remember the cover for that one.
I don't remember either of these.
They were they were significantly post Naughty Dog when Activision...
Yeah.
Activision took over?
Well, they don't count, okay? They don't count. They're not part of the Insane Trilogy, so they don't count.
Well, it's because they're not a trilogy. There's two of them.
I'm making a joke, guys! Chill out! Holy crap!
Did you ever think that maybe I was just fucking with you too? Jeez.
I heard Druten in the background.
God, you're so angry all the time.
I was making a joke.
Well,
they don't count.
Make funny jokes. But I mean, you're not wrong. Like there's been a big gap between them. It will probably be good. Like From Software they're a good developer, whether I like their games or not. I honestly I have no nostalgia for Armored Core. Like I remember them existing, but never played any of them.
Mm-hmm. I remember playing one or two of them. Don't remember which one. I just remember PlayStation. Because I think at least the first two, maybe if not the first three, were all PlayStation 1.
I feel like you're just making things up, man.
1 and 2 are
3 is on PS. 3 is on PlayStation 2. And so is 2. So 1 is the only one that was...
Oh, 2 was a PS2 game? Wow.
Yeah, it came out in 2000.
Okay, so then I only ever played 1 then. I only ever played Armored Core 1. Unless Eric had an Armored Core... No, because I remember our only mech game that we had for PS2 was Zone of the Enders.
Well, there was also Armored Core Master of Arena, which came out in 99 and appears to have been on PlayStation.
I might have had that. I don't know. Like, the only reason I really don't know is because we had the bootleg versions. So, like, it was just Armored Core written on a burned disc.
Right, you were a thief. I forgot.
I wasn't. My parents were.
Sounds like you were. You were the one playing it.
I didn't know it was wrong.
That's a bad excuse.
I was 12.
You should have known right from wrong when you were 12.
I was less than 10 at the time.
Should have still known right from wrong, man.
My parents said, "What video games do you want?" We gave them a list of 50 video games, and we got 50 video games.
Yep, sounds like you stole them.
I didn't steal them. I was given.
You played them.
Given them. I didn't steal them.
You're an accessory to murder.
Given to
Just
me.
saying.
No, that's not. That's not how that works. I mean, because none of them were Tetris, and so.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I do know that we didn't steal any Tetris, or have any copies of a Tetris game for the play. So I don't think I was an accessory to murder for that.
I don't know. You could just be blacking that part of your memory out because of the trauma.
What trauma?
Exactly.
I wouldn't associate myself to being an accessory to murder for owning a Tetris game in the 90s.
That's up to the courts, man.
I mean, there's a statute of limitations for how long they could
not for murder.
Be like, oh yeah, you bought this game, and then a dude mysteriously died at sea, by quote heart attack.
There is no statute on murder.
You know, we all had a copy of Tetris. We're all complicit on this.
I never had a stolen copy of Tetris.
But you bought. Actually, you're more complicit because you had a full-on copy of Tetris.
Actually, I
had nothing to do with taking it with buying it legit. So I had nothing to do with a legit copy.
So you're admitting that you're a thief, is what I'm hearing.
I'm not a thief. I was given those games.
Okay, Nixon.
It was given to me.
I'm not a thief.
I'm not.
True.
But anyway, there's Game Awards.
How excited are you about Hades 2?
I don't need another video game. at that point. Like, just give me Hades 2 right now, and I'm good with video games forever.
Are you just going to switch back and forth between 1 and 2?
Probably.
No,
Yeah, maybe.
And
What?
and Diablo 2 as well.
Well,
It's going to go.
Diablo 4
and-
comes out in June. That was one of the other June games.
Yeah.
Drew, what happens if Hades 2 is bad?
That would be disappointing and actually, like, shocking, because Supergiant's pretty good.
No, yeah, like, I've at least, like, sampled, I think, all of their games. None of them were bad. Like,
Mhm.
they are all, like, good games, just, like, I had varying levels of interest in them. So what was that weird RPG basketball game? Pyre?
Pyre.
That game was super cool.
Fucking great.
And then, did they do Transistor, or was that somebody else?
No, that
The
was also them.
Transistor, yeah.
Okay. I liked Transistor, but it just wasn't my type of game.
Yeah, I never finished it.
Yeah, like, I played a little bit of it. I'm like, oh, this actually plays really well, but, like, it just didn't, like, have a hook for me.
Hmm.
But yeah, this Hades 2 actually looks... I really like the style of Hades. Whether I'm into the roguelike or not, that game just looks fucking cool.
Yeah.
And I like that, like, they're just totally different characters in this one, or at least main character.
Hmm.
Which is pretty cool. And then, are you going to get into the early access stuff since, like, they're doing that again?
Probably. I haven't actually, like, looked into it yet, really, but I probably should.
So they haven't announced anything yet. But they did say that it's going to go into early access in 2023. And I believe at the Game Awards, they did say that they're going to do the same kind of development strategy where it is going to be available to play as they develop it, and they're going to use player feedback to improve the game.
Okay.
So, seems like good news.
Yeah.
Now, I guess because in the first one, like, nobody really dies, right? Like, even when you kill things, they just come back.
Yeah.
So, in theory, like, anything that you fought or interacted with in the first game could be in this one in some form.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, that's how Greek mythology works.
I mean, I understand that, but I was just making sure that, like, there wasn't, like some twist at the end where, like, Hades was actually killed.
No, I mean it's explained in Hades that, like, the reason you always return back to Hades is because it's the underworld. If you die while trying to escape Hades, you just go back to Hades.
I understand that, but also, like, games can do things, and I think don't you have to beat it a bunch of times before you get, like, the true ending?
Yeah, honestly, like, I have 30 plus escapes. I don't know that I have seen the actual ending of that game yet or not.
Damn. Yeah, that's why, like, I wasn't sure if, like, if anything happened that, like, somebody was just erased from existence, essentially. But it sounds like you might not know either.
What do you think this is, God of War?
I haven't finished that yet.
I'm talking the original God of Wars.
I never played them. They were fucking weird.
Where you literally go and kill the gods, the Greek gods.
Oh yeah, I guess you
all of them.
I guess you do also kill some of the Norse gods in the first one.
You kill.
What's his name?
Really only
Baldur?
kill two. You actually really only kill one, and it's Baldur. And
oh, you kill
some
Hercules'
others.
sons too, or not? Jesus, Hercules. Thor's sons.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Like that is a plot point early on in Ragnarok.
But yeah, in the original God of Wars, the reason Kratos becomes God of War in the first God of War game, the reason Kratos becomes the God of War at the end is because he kills
Ares.
Ares. So like that whole game is you go get you go and find Pandora's box and open it up, but Pandora's box has already been opened, so when you open it up, there's nothing in there. It turns out, oh, there's Hope, and Hope turns you giant, and you get to fight Hades, you kill him, you take his place as God of War, and you become a god. And then God of War 2 and 3 are you killing the gods because Zeus is an asshole, basically. Which, I mean, has always been known that Zeus fucking sucks.
I don't know. Like, he was pretty cool in Disney's Hercules.
Yeah, that's Disney. They're not going to talk about how he had sex with pretty much everybody.
You just sound jealous now.
No, I hate Zeus. He is a fucking asshole.
But he gave
And
Hercules
honestly,
Pegasus.
No, he didn't.
In Disney's Hercules, he did.
In Disney's Hercules, he did. But in real mythology, in spoken word mythology, Zeus is the reason for all of Hercules' problems.
But nobody cares about real mythology when a Disney version exists with fucking music by Michael Bolton.
I mean, maybe people should care about it because it's very interesting. And you realize that the, quote, good guys are actually the bad guys. Like, Zeus is the worst, like, thing ever written. Like, the meanest thing ever written.
I don't know if
wild.
that's true.
So, first of all, you know why Hercules' name is Hercules, right?
No, I don't read up on Greek mythology.
His name is actually Heracles. Hercules' mom named him Heracles to honor Hera, Zeus's actual wife, to apologize for having him. But Hera then caused all these issues because Zeus couldn't keep it in his pants. It's shitty. Hera did all this shit to Hercules in Hercules' life because she was mad at him for being born because her husband sucked.
Well, I mean, that sounds like a Hera problem, not a Zeus problem.
Everyone hates on Hades, but Hades didn't want to be god of the underworld. Zeus forced him to be god of the underworld, and then everyone looks down on him and makes him look like the bad guy because he's god of the underworld. But somebody needs to rule down there. And then forces Aphrodite to live in the underworld with Hades.
Not
Zeus
Aphrodite.
forces. No, was it not Aphrodite? It was
Persephone,
also,
isn't
Zeus
it?
doesn't. It's Persephone, and also Zeus does
Persephone.
not do it. Hades does.
No, Hades never forced her to be.
Hades 100% kidnapped Persephone.
Did he kidnap her?
Yes.
Listen, man, Drew played 150
Play Hades.
hours of Hades. He knows the history of Hades. All I know is apparently James Wood, not a great guy.
Oh yeah, he sucks shit.
Oh no, James Wood's terrible. Terrible guy.
Which translates to Hades not being a good guy.
No.
I mean, none of the Greek gods are really any good.
Yeah. But like Zeus is such a bad.
Look, it's the trickle-down effect. Anyway, so apparently Ken Levine is actually making a game.
Bullshit.
They showed a trailer. It looks like BioShock in space. But he's no longer working on BioShock. It's called Judas. So there's that, I guess. It's kind of weird that the whole aesthetic is very BioShocky after he was kind of vocal about wanting to distance himself from BioShock.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know who Ken Levine was until you said BioShock. So I didn't watch this trailer. I didn't think anything of it.
He is the visionary behind BioShock and BioShock Infinite.
I mean, those games are fantastic.
He's apparently a little bit of a control freak. But not he's apparently not like a bad guy. He's just, he needs to have final say on everything. And he's one of those very, from what I've read, he's one of those very creative types where he will come up with ideas and just want people to figure out how to make them happen.
I mean, if it's his vision and it's his game.
But sometimes he apparently had ideas for on Infinite that just, it was not how game, it was not a viable thing to do. And he was just very combative about whether or not it could be done on the budget and the timeline that they had. There was Jason Schreier wrote a book a few years ago that was about games that struggled through development, and BioShock Infinite was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it had a lot of interviews from higher ups and stuff like that from the company. But I don't know. Those first two the two BioShock games he worked on were pretty good. I would be willing to try out BioShock in space.
Yeah. I definitely would play more BioShock.
Well, how about Judas? Would you play Judas?
It's Judah, or that's what you wrote in the.
That's a typo.
I guess I didn't watch the trailer, so I guess I would play it if it's BioShock in space. I would try it out.
At one point they show in the trailer it's still first person. It looks like it could be Rapture because you're on a space station or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
And the person shoves something into their arm and then has firepower. So it's fucking BioShock.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the same thing. It's the same thing with Calypso Protocol. It's being made by the same guy who did, or Callisto Protocol, not Calypso. Callisto Protocol, where it's being made by it was made by the same guy who did Dead Space, and so it's just Dead Space, but in jail.
Apparently, it's not good though.
Yeah, I'm hearing people saying that there's some issues, and they're not really liking how things are done.
Yeah,
but
apparently the performance is real fucking bad.
Yeah, I haven't really watched many people play it. I saw people that were super stoked when it came out, but I haven't really heard much about it since.
Yeah, all I've heard is people kind of down on it, it runs really bad, and it's kind of just disinteresting. And apparently, the controls are fucked. Mm-hmm. There's a dodge system, but there's no actual rhyme or reason to the dodge.
Mm-hmm.
So,
cool.
Now, who is excited about DS2?
I haven't played the first one still.
Well, you gotta get on that, because now how are you gonna play the sequel?
I'm not. I have, I was interested in Death Stranding when it was like first being announced and launched and whatnot. But honestly, at this point, I have zero interest in Death Stranding at all.
But Sam Porter Bridges needs your help.
Who?
It's Norman Reedus' character's name.
Okay.
Sam Porter Bridges, because he is a porter. He transports things across the forsaken wasteland of the United States.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I remember hearing to get into like the main stuff of the story, you had to play like 15 to 30 hours.
So that was very much if you are the type of person who just wanders, you could spend 15 hours before you hit the story. The game does lead you along in a way that, like, you can just do the story. Mm-hmm. It was just, the game is entirely open. Like, pretty much right from the beginning, you can just kind of go do whatever you want. Mm-hmm. And like, the little bit I played, like, I think there was only once or twice where I was kind of corralled into I had to do a specific thing, because they basically gave me a package and a time limit to go do it. Because if, the way that world works was super weird. If a thing dies, like a human dies, you have a very, like specific amount of time to get them to, like, a giant incinerator, or they will explode with the force of a nuclear bomb. Mm-hmm. And that was one of, like, the early game missions was, like, somebody just died, so you have to get them to one of these facilities and avoid, like, the fucking black tar monster things that, like, hover and, like, eat your soul or whatever.
Why wouldn't you have those incinerator facilities, like, more frequently then?
I don't think they were just, like, a normal, like, fire that just, like, turned it to ash. Like, I think there was something specific about it. But, Sam's character is, Death Stranding. So, like, he can come back from dead. Like, they literally wrote into the game how, like, you survive when you die during, like, combat or falling or anything like that. Like, your character is just able to be brought back to life. Mm-hmm. It's really weird. It was a really fucking weird game. It was 100% Kojima. Like, there was a character called Die Hard Man. Like, you don't get more Kojima than that. And apparently he rewrote the new one during the pandemic, because he did not want to predict the future again. And I thought that was very funny.
I don't know what you mean by that.
So, like, when Death Stranding, the first one, came out, it came out just before COVID, and people were making a lot of parallels to the world of that game and what the world looked like in the first half of 2020.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm not going to play it, but, like, I think it's funny that they're making just a straight up fucking sequel to it. Mm-hmm. He also announced that he's working on another game that hasn't been announced yet.
Man, I just want a new Metal Gear. I know he can't do it, but I just want a new Metal Gear. That's what I want. That's all I want.
Well, go play Metal Gear Survive.
Yeah.
No. I want, like, a legit Metal Gear.
Yeah, that's never going to happen.
I know.
Did you ever play Metal Gear Solid 5?
No, I didn't, actually.
Then why the fuck do you want a new one if you never played the last one?
Because, I don't know. I can't remember. What did I play? I did play 4, because 4 was, like, the super long movie, basically.
Yeah.
That's all of them.
Well, no, but, like, 4 was, like, very much... Like,
there were a lot of very long cutscenes in 4.
Yeah. 4 more than any of them were, like, just cutscenes in movie more so than, like, a game. Like, didn't the game take, like, 15 hours, 10 to 15 hours, but if you skip the cutscenes, it's less than 3?
Oh, I mean, like, again, that's all of the Metal Gear Solids.
Yeah, if you skip all the dialogue and you don't have to, like, rely on the codex for anything, those games are not very long.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure I've beaten Metal Gear Solid 1 in under an hour. Mm-hmm. Like, if you skip everything and know where to go, like, it's easy.
Yeah, because a lot of that game is, like, finding a door, then backtracking to find, like, the key card or whatever, like, the radio code is you need to, like, talk to the right fucking person.
Yeah, in a sense, you could say that Metal Gears are kind of Metroidvania-like, where you have to go back and forth to the different places you've been to each time.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
What was next on here? They showed off a new trailer for Jedi Survivor, and they confirmed that it's going to release in March. I'm excited for that because I really like that game. And they're doing the stupid fucking Kylo Ren lightsaber in this one.
Mm-hmm. I saw that. That was one of the few trailers I watched, and it makes me, like, realize that I want to play the other one. The first one that came out, because I haven't played that yet.
It's unfortunately has that, it's like the Souls style gameplay mixed with like a Metroidvania style gameplay. But like you can adjust the difficulty if like the combat doesn't suit you. So like you might want to turn the combat up, whereas like I definitely turned it down because I was just not having fun with it. But
because you're bad at video games.
Yeah, sure. I liked the traversal and everything though, and like the story. It's just like it does that whole like you know, if you stop at like a save point, it respawns all the enemies. And when it's just when it's stormtroopers and shit like that, those guys are fun to fight. When it's like the weird giant spiders, like they're not fun because there's not a whole lot of strategy. It's just slash at them and then run away and then slash at them again until their giant health bar goes away. Because it's not like Dark Souls bosses where like the bosses like you can kind of just like run away and like slash and run away, but there's usually some sort of like actual strategy you should have for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's coming out in March. Okay, here are the two games that are also releasing in June. Diablo 4 comes out in June, and then so does Street Fighter 6. So it's Final Fantasy 16, Street Fighter 6, and Diablo 4 are all June releases this year.
I like what they did with Diablo's release date.
Is it? Oh, it is. It's 6/6.
And what's 2 times 3?
Oh, hey, look at that. What a bunch of assholes.
Right?
That's clever, though. Good for them. Good for them. At least they didn't just make us wait like 3 more years. It is Blizzard. They could have. Oh.
Yeah.
I don't think neither of you guys are actually interested in Street Fighter, right?
Not really.
No,
I'm sure it'll be fine, though.
Yeah, I mean, like Street Fighter games are usually decent. Like, hopefully this one releases better than 5 did. Because like people were not thrilled with 5 when it first came out. They released or they revealed the release date for Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League, which is going to be May 26th. And they also announced that Kevin Conroy has voiced Batman for the game.
Nice.
Yeah, so
that's awesome to hear.
That will be, I'm assuming that might be his final like performance, probably as Batman, maybe like across the board. And they did.
Yeah.
After playing the trailer ends with him saying, "I am vengeance, I am the night, I am Batman," and then it says like in memory of Kevin Conroy. So like that was like a nice little thing to do at the Game Awards. What else was on this list? Earthblade. Neither of you played Celeste, right?
No.
So this is the new game from like the team that made Celeste. It's got it looks very similar, but it looks more like an action exploration game versus just like the platform that Celeste was. So I'm kind of interested to see what this ends up being because I really liked Celeste. It unfortunately is not coming out till 2024 though.
Jesus.
They are
announce it, man. Like it drives me nuts. Why announce it now? If we're not getting it for at least a year and a half, why announce it?
Because so it's been quite a while since they made Celeste. They are a very small team, and they just want to make sure that people understand that, like, hey, we have a new game coming. Please don't forget us. Like, when your Square Enixes and Sonys do it, I find it more annoying. When, like, a smaller indie publisher does it, it's more of a, like, please don't forget we exist. Like, we are working on another game. It's just, there's 5 of us.
Yeah, I don't know. It's to me, it's just like in 6 months, or let's say in 8 months, 6 months when E3 happens, just announce it then that next year you'll be getting a game because it's now going to be E3, TGS, and Game Awards next year. We're all going to get stuff for this game.
I mean, probably not. Like they don't have a major publisher. There is no place at the show for them to show off. Like maybe if Jeff does a thing, they'll show something there, but they might not. Because I think they did announce that E3 was actually happening this year, right?
I think so.
Like, it's hard to keep track of.
Yeah.
But, like, if it's more like a traditional E3 and, like, any companies show up with, like press things, like Celeste is, or, like, the Celeste studio is not going to be part of it. What were they called? Extremely OK Games. That's a great name. That's a very good studio name. Good for them. And the last 2 things I had kind of written down were they're doing a Bayonetta Origin game.
Yeah, I don't really know much about it, but I saw that they were doing a new Bayonetta game. I thought it was actually like some sort of DLC or expansion to Bayonetta 3 and not like actually a full-on game. But I do plan on playing all 3 of those. Bayonetta 2 is not available on Steam, I don't think.
I know it's not. 2 and 3 are strictly Nintendo platform.
Yeah, so I need to get them on. I have Bayonetta 1 on Steam, but I don't have 2 or 3, so I need to get those to be able to play them at some point. Because I hear 3's great.
So
I want to play it.
3 is apparently good, but runs really poorly.
Yeah.
Which, that's unfortunately just all non-Nintendo done Switch games at this point.
Yeah, because Nintendo's not going to let people know how to optimize games on their system.
But then there's this Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon, where you're playing as a young version of Cereza and Cheshire from Bayonetta 3. It is not a platinum action game. I honestly, I'm not exactly, like, it looks more like it might be like a exploration, like RPG sort of style. I like the art style for it though. And then the last thing that I thought looked cool was there's a Hellboy game, and like it's all like cell shaded and cool looking.
I did see like screenshots of it. That's really about it. I didn't really look into it. But it did look pretty sweet.
Yeah, I think the only downside is like it's being called a roguelite action adventure. Mm-hmm. So hopefully it's not too roguelike or light, I guess. But the style looked neat. I will give it that.
Yeah. If I had thought about it or watched a trailer, I'd have more to say. Like I'd know it looked cool. I don't really know much about Hellboy except for Ron Perlman, so like it'd be sweet if it were good, but who knows? I don't know anything about it. Like I don't really watch or honestly really care about the Game Awards.
I don't care about the awards. I just cared about the trailers.
I also don't 100% really care for the trailer. Like, all right, give me Final Fantasy, give me Hades, give me Star Wars, Diablo, like everything that's coming out with by mid next year. Sure, give me those things. But like, I don't know. It's just info dump at this point, and it's just here's everything, and it can kind of be a little overwhelming. Like, yeah, we got the announcement for Armored Core 6, which I'm excited for, but like we're not getting that for like 2 years.
It comes out in March.
Does it come out in March? You didn't write a release date on there, so I didn't realize that it was actually.
I fucking put the link in here. Click the goddamn link.
That's what the outline's for. But like, I don't know. It's just so much information.
It's not March. It's going to be released in 2023.
Just 2023 in general.
Yeah. So it'll probably be like holiday, but still.
Yeah.
It's due next year.
It'll be holiday. But like, it's just, I don't know. It's just, you give us all this information all at once, on top of announcing potential winners of game awards, which are, like, objective at best. And personally, I really don't think Elden Ring should have won.
I mean, look, none of the games nominated were the best games of the year.
I mean, out of 2 out of the 6 games that were nominated for Game of the Year, I have played, and neither of them I would have said should be Game of the Year. I admit they should be on that list, but I don't think they should be Game of the Year.
But the only game this year, I think the only games you played this year that were like released this year was Monster Hunter and Pokemon, right?
Monster Hunter, Elden Ring, Pokemon.
Oh, that's right, you did play Elden Ring. I forgot about that.
And Plague Tale. 2 of the 6 games that were on Game of the Year list, I've played.
Plague Tale got nominated? I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Plague Tale definitely... Honestly, I don't think Plague Tale deserves to be on the list of 6. It was a very good game, but there was just some things that were just not good with it. So, like, I don't really know if that deserves to be on there, but, like, I don't think Elden Ring deserved to win. Overall, like, the game it's a good game. But it is not...
Games Media adored Elden Ring. Games Media is who makes the vote.
I know, and that's kind of the bullshit about it. It's Games Media, and it's not like everyone. Like, the everyone vote only gives like 10% of the vote or whatever.
That's all award shows, though.
But yeah, also I'd imagine if the fan vote probably also went to Elden Ring anyway.
I don't think the fan vote would have gone to Elden Ring. I think the fan vote would have gone to God of War.
I don't know, like if you don't spend a lot of time like on the internet per se, especially like games internet. People get hyper aggressive when other people say that Elden Ring shouldn't be Game of the Year. Like,
oh, I had somebody say that to me on Twitter. Like I posted on Twitter, Elden Ring should not have won Game of the Year, and they like sent me a meme image of just like, good opinion, dude. Like mockingly, like thumbs up, like you're by yourself or whatever type of thing. And I'm like, I don't think it should have gotten it.
No, I mean, I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying, like Drew's right. The majority of the internet does think it deserved it, whether they're right or wrong. Honestly, like the problem with the Game Awards this year in particular was like you had two very large, like I can't even think of the word for it. But you had God of War and Elden Ring. Like those two games won everything. If it was a category that they could be nominated for, one of them won.
Yeah.
I don't know that there was a single category that they weren't in that they didn't walk away with.
Yeah. Like, fucking Elden Ring won for art direction, man.
I mean, it was a pretty game. The little bit I played of it.
I don't know if God of War was in that category. It probably was, but, like, at least God of War had fucking color. Like, like I said, Elden Ring was a very good game. But if I think of the best game of 2022, I would not think to say, hey, Elden Ring is the best game of 2022.
But, I mean, and that's the problem with awards in general. Like, they are very subjective, and they are generally picked by, like, a like-minded group of people. Because even if you factor in, like, media outlets that don't follow, like, normal conventions, they're the minority in the group of people that, like, all enjoy the same games generally.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that's a bummer. But also, like I said, I'm there, I watch it mostly for just kind of, like, the goofy spectacle. Like, fucking Al Pacino came out. They had Al fucking Pacino give out the first award of the night.
I posted a thing on my Discord. A kid got arrested off stage.
Yeah. I mean, that was stupid, but, like, fucking Al Pacino, man. He doesn't even know what, he basically admitted he doesn't know what a fucking video game is. He couldn't, apparently the teleprompter was broken. Like, it was a fucking disaster. And then Chris Judge got up there and gave a 12-minute speech.
Jeez.
And, like, you could tell they had no idea what to do, because it was at least 8 minutes in before they even started playing the music, and he just fucking kept going. And, like, fucking good for him. Like, you know, say what you gotta say. But, yeah. And, like, they came out ahead of time, and Jeff's like, yeah, this one's gonna be shorter. It was still 3 hours.
Yeah.
Like, it's a very long time for frankly, very few awards. And the one I cared about most, they gave away in the opening. And I only cared about it because Kirby won. Kirby won a fucking award.
Nice.
The best one was, like, in the pre-show thing. They did all of the esports awards, and they just did them all at once.
Good.
Yeah. They're just like, best esports player, best esports team, best esports coach, best esports game, just back to back to back.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I like seeing what games they're announcing and what, like, goofy shit they get up to. Like, that one year when they actually got, Reggie, Spencer, and Leighton to all come out and, like, give an award, like, that was neat. Like, you very rarely see those three people on stage together. And now you'll definitely never will, because fucking Sony doesn't go to these things anymore, because what's his name seems like a fucking uptight douchebag.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But fucking Reggie was there. He's not even in games anymore. He was just there hanging out, getting accused of murder.
What do you mean getting accused of murder?
So they had
because of Tetris?
They had a little bit with one of the actors from the new Knives Out movie.
Okay.
And she came out and she's like, "There's a murderer among us." And one of the people they kind of, like, froze on was Reggie.
Okay.
It was silly, and, like, you could tell they were trying to get a laugh, but, like, I don't think it really went over super well. Because they were definitely, like, they're starting to encroach on that, like, forcing celebrities a little too much, I feel. Because, like, they had Al Pacino come out. They had the guy that plays Cal in Star Wars games. He was there. They had, like, a video presentation thing with Daniel Craig and Ryan Johnson. Like, it was like pushing it a little bit, but it is what it is. Rich, what did you think of this Forspoken demo?
I didn't hate it. There's definitely, it needs some refining for sure.
Good thing they have about a month.
What's that?
I said good thing they have about a month.
Yeah. It's just, I didn't hate it. And from what I'm seeing, like, a lot of people who have played it and talked about it online, and hearing from people who talked about it online, any streamers and whatnot, like, they've pretty much said a lot of the same thing of, like, this was a day one purchase for me. It's now not. It's still a game I'm interested in, but it is not a day one purchase. It is not like a $60, $70 purchase. And I kind of feel that with how the demo is. Like, the controls are a lot, to say the least. Cause it's like, instead of, like, utilizing, like, more of the controller. Like they assign multiple button presses to a lot of things.
And, movement doesn't feel very good.
That was the biggest complaint I saw people saying, was the movement felt like shit.
Like, unless you're doing, like, the auto parkour, you're very slow, even when you're running. And
yeah, like, it seems like that's the main, like, you're supposed to do parkour constantly, it seems like.
And, like, that's not fun,
like,
and it's very, that system just felt very janky, and...
Yeah, there was one or two times where, like, I was on that bridge to fight all the enemies on the bridge, and I almost fell off the bridge because I was, like, doing the parkour and jumping around to try to get that feel. And, like...
And you can't jump.
Yeah, there's not really a good jump, like...
Like, you have a pathetic... So the X button does, like, a pathetic little hop. Like, it's literally... Yeah. It's like a real-life jump.
If you're parkouring and you hit X, it'll give you a better jump. And that's the thing. Like, they're assigning a lot of... Like, they could have absolutely assigned your parkour to your control stick instead of a fucking run to your control stick. Yes, you have a run button on your control stick. Like, you have a sprint.
Yeah.
There's no need for a sprint.
Yeah,
because you have parkour.
The sprint and the parkour should be the same thing.
Yeah. You should absolutely have assigned, like, parkour to your sprint, and, like, use circle as another menu option. Because that was the one thing that was, like, really messing with me, is you have your offensive abilities on the left buttons, you have your defensive abilities on the right buttons. Or no, opposite.
Yeah.
Offense on the right, defense on the left. To assign and pick that spell for offense, you hit for offense, you hit the top right button, you hit R1, and then you use your circle, your control stick, because it slows everything down. Use your control stick to pick which ability you want to use, and then you can start using that by either tapping or holding R2. If you want to pick your offensive spell, you hold the L button, and then you can pick that. And then if you want to pick what spell style you have, so rock, fire, ice, whatever, you hit both of the buttons up top.
You hit L1 and R1 together.
Yeah. And it's just like, there was, like, it's a lot, because you're also in combat trying to swap these out, because your defensive abilities they have such a slower cooldown, so you're swapping them out for different ones constantly, while also trying to tap the circle button to jump and run around and do your parkour stuff to keep your mobility to dodge attacks, and then also trying to, like, either switch to different spells or switch to your different styles. And it's like, if you had just assigned the sprint to the click of the stick, you could use the circle to assign your style. And that would, like, honestly be a little bit easier, at least for me.
I mean, I had none of the problems that you are.
One thing, like, when you have so many buttons assigned to so many, like, when you have 4 buttons assigned to so many different things, it just, like, it will get to me. And, like, opening up menus, I even now, like, from playing Pokemon to playing Mega Man X and trying to open the menu, I'm constantly hitting the wrong button to open the menu in Mega Man X. It's the start button to open the menu in Mega Man X, but because I was playing Pokemon, and Pokemon has 3 fucking menus.
Oh yeah, no, that whole thing is stupid.
I kept hitting Y. And that's like, that is game controllers nowadays and game controls. It's just, there's so much happening on such few buttons. And, like, they could have absolutely, and maybe I could have messed with the controls a little bit, but, like, I don't think you need a sprint and a magic parkour button.
No, I mean, I agree with that.
I don't think you need that.
I was just saying, like, I had no problem switching between things. I don't think the combat was good, though. It was more fun when you were using, like, the fiery abilities, like with the sword.
Yeah.
What's it called? The distance stuff.
Yeah, the rock stuff, like the shooting the rocks and whatnot.
Like, that all feels terrible, and the lock-on doesn't work.
The lock-on is very rough.
Like, it doesn't stay locked on. So, Drew, if you lock on to something in a game and then you move around, the lock-on usually, like, stays trained on the target, right?
That's what locking on would mean.
Yeah, not in this fucking game it doesn't. I had to lock on to, like, the same thing, like, 5 times because I was moving to avoid it, and it would just drop the lock-on entirely.
There's games where that happens, and it's so infuriating.
I didn't have that happen to me.
So I fought birds at one point. I don't know if you fought birds.
Yeah, I fought a bunch of different things.
It happened to me with birds because they would fly around, and then I would hit the magic parkour to dodge them, and then it would break targeting, and then I'd have to line them up again because you have to have them perfectly in the center of your fucking screen before it'll lock onto them. If you're just kind of
were you hitting R3?
Yeah, whichever whether it was R3 or L3, whichever one does the lock on, because it would eventually lock on, and I could just spam the melee or the fire button. But it was not consistent or very accurate, and it was super frustrating.
So what I had happening to me was actually, because I was trying to check out and see how the different abilities worked, and I was jumping between them, I would be locked on, and lock on never came off an enemy or anything, unless maybe I got way too far away. But what would happen is, I would be holding the button to choose which ability, and then I would let go of, R1 or L1. And then because I'm using the camera control stick to pick my ability while I'm in a fight, and I let go of R1, but I'm still holding the direction of the ability I wanted, it would then cycle through the other enemies that are targeted. And so I was I would never be able to consistently stay targeted to the same enemy because I was switching out my abilities so much. And it's just there's a lot going on in this game and a lot of buttons to hit.
I mean, you're not wrong. It was a decent looking game. Visually, it looked pretty cool. Mm-hmm. There was a lot to. I wandered around a little bit and checked things out, but I was purposely not really reading things because if it's if I do play the full game, I don't want to have to redo that sort of thing. Yeah. But the combat was mediocre. It didn't. The melee combat felt better than the ranged combat. Ranged is the word I've been trying to fucking remember.
Yeah.
But it still wasn't great. Most of those defensive things I also didn't find very useful. Cause they did stuff, but it was just as easy to just simply dodge and then dash in and attack.
Yeah, so that was the defensive abilities were the fire ones sucked.
Dude, I will say the Ring of Fire thing was pretty cool as long as you didn't fucking touch it yourself.
And that's the thing. You get hurt by your own spell.
But you
shouldn't.
Drew, so this one defensive spell thing, it just creates a giant ring of fire around you, and if any of the enemies go into it, they just start getting killed by it.
Sure.
But if you attack somebody and pass through it, you also deal damage because it's fucking fire.
Yeah, but it's only if they go through the ring of fire, not if they're inside the ring.
Yeah. But
and you place the ring in a radius around you. So if you place the ring in a radius around you, and then you have 20 enemies around you, they're actually not getting hurt unless you can hit them into the ring.
Yeah.
And I'm just the good thing is you can place that and then you set a different offensive ability. So you could have all of your offensive abilities set up, or defensive abilities set up all at the same time. So the fire one had a fire ring, had a set of swords that if enemies came close to you would defend you while you were charging your spell, and had a dash move. So you could dash in, drop the ring of fire, grab the swords, and then start attacking. Or you could also then switch over to your other spell abilities, and you could place the turret, and you could place all of your defensive shit all at one time. Which I was alright, that's neat that you could do all that because the cooldowns are so slow. And you had the one that was a vine whip that heals you, which, alright, that's cool too. But I'm with Cobb when it came to fighting. I was I want to use the fire abilities because they're all close range, and that just, it feels better because it locks on better. Whereas the range stuff, they don't teach you how to lock on until the first boss, after you fought.
Oh yeah, on the bridge.
After you fought 20 or 30 enemies.
Yeah,
they don't tell you that there's a lock on till then.
Yeah,
there's one enemy.
They don't teach it to you in the
in the tutorial.
And the only reason they teach it to you during that boss fight is because that boss can only be hurt by the ranged attacks. The sword doesn't do any damage to it.
No, I did all fire attacks.
Oh, every time I went up to it with the sword, it said whatever word.
Vulnerable.
No,
it said vulnerable, not invulnerable.
It never said vulnerable for me.
Because I don't think I did any ranged attacks with that boss.
Only range attacks worked when I was playing.
Because also, she used ice. It made sense. You melt ice with fire.
I never got hit by any of her abilities. I didn't see what she was using.
I never got hit with them either. It's just I saw her throwing them and I kept dodging them. It was just all ice attacks. So she even closes in on you and she's got like a box of ice next to her or whatever.
That was the problem. Like I was never really close to her because I was using ranged, and the game is so jittery that like I was moving constantly, and like you don't get a good like view of anything.
Yeah.
Like it's I was already not really interested in buying this game after the last trailer because I just don't like the way like the narrative is kind of set up. And, like, I did not enjoy the banter between the character and her bracelet at all. At one point, I actually just stopped listening and put a podcast on for, like, the last, like, 15 minutes I was playing. But, like, now it's definitely, like, I'll wait for it to be under $30 or a PS Plus game.
Yeah,
if I touch it at all.
This is definitely for me, it's a sale game. It's like, this has to be on sale, sub 50, for me to get it.
It's kind of like Ghostwire Tokyo. I was actually really interested in that, like, early on. And by the time the game come out, I had lost all interest.
Yeah.
And now it's like, if I ever see Ghostwire for like a super cheap price, or if it's like a free game at some point, like I'll try it out then.
Yeah. It sucks because like the game does look very good. It like the scenery, the settings, and everything like that look good. Like I want to know more about the lore and the story to really understand what's going on. I feel like this game, because it was a demo, they throw you in, like, the middle of the game. It's obviously they're not going to put you right at the beginning of the game. They're not going to give you, this is an action game, an action RPG, more so than anything else. Like, they want you to experience as much of the game as you can in such a little time. That, like, it makes sense to throw you into the middle of the game with all these abilities, but then it's, like, kind of at the same time, at least for me, it was like, oh my god, I've got all this stuff, I need to use it, I need to try it.
I mean, whereas, like, that is the problem with demos and stuff like that in general. Like, demos almost always, unless, like, in recent years where it's been, like, here, play, like, the first hour of the game and your save will carry over. Like, any other demo, especially pre-release demo, it's like, oh, yeah, no, here you are, 8 hours into this game. Like, you have a bunch of stuff already. Good luck figuring it out.
Which, like, I don't know why more people don't do that. Like, here's the first 2-3 hours of the game, or whatever. When Project Triangle had their demo, and they just threw you into middle of it, and it's like, you should have just given me like 2 or 3 hours of the game at the very beginning.
So it only works if the game is actually finished and they can do save carryover. Because like, think about it, if somebody gave you a game and they let you play the first 2 hours and it came out a month later. Actually, you may be okay with this, but, like, I don't want to play those same 2 hours again on release.
No, I don't, which is why I'm saying I don't understand why people don't do the whole save carryover thing. Because, like, this demo had an autosave feature. It was saving. Because you can go back and play the demo after closing it out.
You can manually save,
and reload where you were. And you can manually save. So, why couldn't they have just had a...
Because it literally said at the beginning, this game is still in development and will probably change in final release.
But it's a month away.
I don't know that they've announced it's gone gold yet, and also patching. Like, going gold actually doesn't mean shit anymore because everything can be patched.
No.
But yeah, like, I think this game is like... I think they're going to be working on this game up to the last minute, and they are going to have a gigantic day one patch that, like, they couldn't take the risk of being like, oh yeah, your stuff will carry over, and then have the game have to have some major tweak in the beginning that they then had to be like, oh, no, sorry, we had to change this so much that we had to cancel that.
Mm-hmm. Like, but, I mean, also at the same time, like, if I played for 2 hours and then they turned around, and for me at least, if I played for 2 hours and turned around like, yeah, something happened, we had to do major updates, and so it's not going to work, I'd be like, alright, whatever, I'm still going to play this, I'll just skip everything I already played. But also, I probably wouldn't stick with the full 2 hours. I'd play for half hour tops, like I did today, to try the game out, and if I like it, alright, I'll play the rest when the game comes out.
And like, that is also fine, but there are plenty of people that wouldn't.
Yeah, there's absolutely so many people that would sit there and be like, alright, I'm going to do everything I can in this and be as strong as I can before the game comes out so that I can face roll through the first 2-3 hours of the game afterwards and whatnot. And then, well, it's like, oh, well, you kind of wasted your time there. Sorry, bro.
Yeah. But I think that the important takeaway is, like, this game is mediocre at best and will unfortunately probably be a bit of a financial failure.
Yeah, it's like I was pumped for it. I was excited for it, but it just didn't hit for me. Like, didn't really hit that well.
But do you want to talk a little bit about Mega Man X?
Yeah. These are game. This is a game that you guys can talk about too, guys. I played Mega Man X for the first time in like 15 years. Maybe even more than that.
I saw about 5 minutes of your stream, and you were not very good at it.
I mean, what part were you watching?
I don't know. You were trying to jump into the ceiling over and over again.
Yeah, no one's good at that.
I'm just saying you were particularly bad at it.
I mean, the timing so in Mega Man X, for anybody who doesn't know, Mega Man or X, he gets armor upgrades as you play through the game, and they're like spread throughout the different levels. And sometimes you need certain armor upgrades to get other armor upgrades, and it's a pain. In the first Mega Man X, to get the Buster upgrade, you need to go to Flame Mammoth's level, and at a certain point there is a jump that you need to make that you need to be pixel perfect in order to get it. If you jump a pixel too early, you're not making it. If you jump a pixel too late, you're not jumping, you're falling to the ground. If you hit it right, you will barely hit the ledge, like the corner ledge, where you then have to frantically jump to be able to break these blocks, to be able to jump up to get the Buster upgrade, and that's what you were watching.
Did you end up doing it?
I did. I actually, I can pull a clip and I can send it to you guys of me getting it. Cause I did clip that, cause I wanted to do something with it on the socials. But it took a while, and I was even, other guys that were on there with me that were watching me and whatnot, like that know these games, they turn like, this is probably the hardest part of this game, really, is getting that pixel perfect jump. Let's see if I can find it. It should be this one. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I don't know if I've ever actually played all of the first Mega Man X. I know I've played the beginning of it numerous times, but I think I always played more of like 2 or 3 and then like the PS1 games.
Mm-hmm. Like I've played Mega Man X, like the first Mega Man X before. I don't remember how long ago it was. It was on GameCube when the GameCube X Legacy or X Collection came out.
Yeah, I think it was GameCube and PS2, I believe. Probably Xbox.
Yeah, and I remember getting through the game. I don't think I got all the armor because I didn't know where it all was. I didn't know anything about it. But I do remember at least getting. I must have gotten the Buster. No, if you don't get the Buster, you get Zero's arm, apparently, and it then replaces your Buster with what's supposed to be the leveled up Buster that lets you charge your power-ups. Because, like, I do remember going and fighting the final boss, and, like, I didn't remember how tough it was or anything, but I remembered what you needed to do, like, some of the stuff about getting the, filling up your tanks, because they just give you free tank fill-ups throughout, or in the final boss's level. It's almost, as long as you have the powered up Buster, it is almost impossible to get a game over in the final boss's level.
And I just looked up, I own a lot of Mega Man games.
Mm-hmm.
I own the X Collection twice. So I have the Collection and Collection 2 on Switch, and then I have the PS2 Mega Man X Collection. And then I've got the Mega Man Anniversary Collection on GameCube, and then the Legacy Collection on 3DS, and I'm pretty sure I bought the collection on Switch, too.
There's 2 Mega Man collection. There's Legacy 1 and Legacy 2, so, Legacy 2 brings you from, 7 to 11.
Maybe I didn't buy those. I could have sworn I did. I'll have to check my Switch later, because I'm just looking at, like, my app right now. Like, I have the 3DS Legacy Collection, which, let's see, it's the first 6 games.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could have sworn I bought the 2 on the Switch when they came out, but maybe I didn't. Either way, like, it's a lot of rebuying Mega Man games for some fucking reason.
Yeah.
Especially when I only like 4 of them.
And then, so you can, if you get all of the heart tanks, all of the energy tanks, all of the armors, you can get a Hadouken. in Mega Man X, and I think it's actually available through most of the X games.
It
But
is in
Mega
all
Man-
the games. I think some of them have different stipulations. I don't know that it's always just getting everything.
Yeah. And so in Mega Man X, in the first one, in order to get it, you need to have collected everything. And then you need at least, you need to, in one playthrough, go to, is it Armadillo? Is it Armored Armadillo stage? I can't remember which stage. But you need to go to one of the stages, and near the very end of the level, you need to make this jump to a platform. While riding on like a mine cart, you need to jump off the mine cart and land on a platform 5 times. And then each time and then kill yourself to reload back and do it. Or you can complete the level and just do that 5 times and complete the level. You have to go through the entire level to do it, just to get the Hadouken. Which then is basically like Link's sword in original Legend of Zelda, where it can shoot as long as your health bar is full. So you can use Hadouken by doing a quarter circle, and shooting as long as you have full health. Apparently it's like super strong. I didn't get to use it because I don't know the enemies like combos and whatnot, and I would always get hit before I had a chance to attack with it. Because even after input, takes a while for it to it takes a second for him to actually fire it.
But did you end up finishing the game?
Yes, so I did beat it. The final stage, the fight with Sigma was a lot harder than I remember it being. Because in normal Mega Man fashion, the final boss is weak to the worst weapon. So you get Armored Armadillo's weapon is like a shield ball that like you shoot and it drops and then bounces off the walls back and forth. But the final Sigma that you have to fight is a head up in the air that you need to jump on a platform for it to bring it up to you to jump and shoot it. Because these games make you do the dumbest things to fight the final boss. So that fight alone took me about 20 minutes. But I was able to clear it with getting everything in about 3.5 hours, which is fully what I was expecting. It was what was on How Long to Beat. I also had help from people watching me. They were telling me, like, hey, you should do this boss. So I don't mind when people tell me which bosses to go for. Because I don't know these. And it would have taken me much longer if I didn't know how to do it.
That's fair. I remember Mega Man X, like the first one, being very good about, like, teaching you how the game works, too. Like, in the first level, it basically, like, very much like the original Mario Brothers. Like, it sets up the game mechanics right away for you. Like, at one point, the ground falls out from underneath of you, and you're stuck in a pit, and when you jump at a wall, like, you realize, like, oh, I can wall jump.
Yeah, peak game design, where they don't have somebody jump in and tell you, hey, you can wall jump by doing this. It's just figure it out. I love it. I absolutely love it. But yeah, it's fun. I like the X series. I've only played, like, I remember playing X1. I might have played X2. Whichever one was on the PlayStation. That might have been X4 or 5.
I think it was 6.
Maybe 6.
So I own X6 on the PlayStation. I don't know if any other ones were.
Mm-hmm. It might, because the Mega Man X collection is 1 through 4, because I think there's only 8 X games, and then the second one is the rest of it. So yeah, it might have been X6, 7, and 8 were on, or 6 and 7 were on PlayStation, 8 was on whatever, but it also would be silly if they did X1 through 4 were all SNES, and then 5 was also SNES, and then 6, 7, 8 were on PlayStation and beyond. That just seems silly to me, but
1 through 3 are SNES, although 3 also is on Saturn and PlayStation. 4 is Saturn and PS1. 5 is just PS1, well, and PC. 6 is also PS1. 7 is PS2. 8 is also PS.
Okay. But yeah, I really enjoyed those games. I thought X was really good. From what I hear, the first one is the best. And like, it doesn't surprise me that like this might be the best, because like when I talked about the regular Mega Man games, I was like, oh, the original Mega Man game is honestly one of the worst games. But like now they have years of experience making Mega Man games, and they just decide to do an alternate universe Mega Man and work on it differently like this. And it's just like, all right, this makes sense that this is really good. They added a bunch of neat stuff to it, and give you like the armor upgrades and everything, and like an interesting story. Like, kind of, I don't know. they're silly, but I can't wait to play the rest of them because I only have a little bit of memory of whichever one was on PlayStation that I played. Probably 4, 5, or 6.
Are you doing them weekly the way you did the original games?
Yes, that's the plan. Every Monday, Mega Man Monday with VX games, and then once we beat these, we'll take like a few months off, and then we'll do the Zeros, which those are going to be a little bit more in depth because they're actually like sort of Metroidvania style games.
Now, when are you doing the Battle Networks?
When those come out,
So, like, soon.
probably. I mean, I'll probably do them after the Zero games when they go on sale at some point.
Those are going to be commitments.
Oh yeah, those are going to be. That's going to be a lot to do those. So it might be like one a month instead of one a week.
That sounds
Because
that seems about right because you're not going to beat one of those games in one sitting.
Like I'll probably beat one of those games a week or every like week and a half. Like it might take like a week to 2 weeks per game. So I'm not going to sit there and strictly just play those games for 2 weeks at a time or just back to back. So I'll probably like play one for a couple weeks, take a break, play something else, and then play the next one.
Yeah. So the first game is 14 hours.
Mhm.
The last one, Mega Man Battle Network 6 is 22 hours.
Jeez.
So like looks like Battle Network 3, 24 hours. And this is main story only.
Yeah.
So like they're hefty fucking games. And then you have to decide what color you're going to play for some of them.
Yeah, because they did the whole Pokemon release with those as well.
At a certain point, not with the first one, but I think it was like the second and third one had colors or the third and fourth.
Mm-hmm. And then I'll eventually do Legends 1 and 2 when I can find a ROM for those.
There you go, stealing again.
They're not available anywhere. They're literally not available on Steam, I don't think. And I don't know if they're available on any consoles.
I actually don't think they are.
I could maybe track down my original PlayStation and potentially find, if we still have it, our copies of Mega Man Legends 1 and 2.
But they were stolen.
I mean, yeah.
So either way, you're stealing.
I mean, I'm not stealing. I already have it. It's been stolen.
So
I already have. I'm
so
not
you admit
stealing
you're a
it
thief.
again. I didn't steal it though. It was gifted to me.
Accessory to murder.
Sure, but like I want to play through those because I remember Legends. I wasn't 100% into Legends, but I also didn't understand it because it was RPG and I was younger. So I want to go back and play Legends, and I don't recall there being like a lot of hype around Legends 2, but I do want to get into Legends 2 as well.
Are you going to play the Mega Man DOS game?
No, probably not.
You should play the Mega Man DOS games.
I don't even know what those are.
They're like DOS games of Mega Man.
Yeah.
I've never seen them. Are they anything like Super Mario Brothers Special?
Oh my god. Yes, kind of, honestly.
I assume they have that same weird... Well, I guess Mega Man games already had that weird, like, they didn't really flow the way, like, platformers did from, like, screen to screen. Like, you had a transition. They just weren't blind transitions.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, let me just tell you, there's something, alright? Like, holy shit. You should play them. You should play them, Walnut.
We'll see. We'll see.
They're really short.
Yeah, I was looking. One of them only had like 4 bosses in it or something like that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would love to see... I would actually watch if you played Super Mario Brothers Special.
No.
You don't have to beat it. You just have to play it for one full stream.
No.
It's fine. In a few years, I'll have gotten enough channel points that I can pick a game for you, and that's the game I will pick.
And that'll be the stream that I cut short.
That's bullshit.
I mean, I stream for as long as I stream. I stream for as long as I can stream. So, there was a stream last week that I only played for an hour and a half. And I was like, after an hour and a half, I was just in a really bad mood. I was like, I'm not having it, guys. I'm calling it. And I called it.
That's what I will save up the points to the game that you have to play the whole game then.
No, I won't.
Listen, Mega Man DOS is an hour and a half to beat. Like, there you go.
Yeah, we'll see. Probably not, though. Just because it's the main reason I moved to play Mega Man X. Cause like, I really don't know what to play right now. I don't know what to play. I didn't know what to play. I was just like,
I mean, the Mega Man games are a good like, especially after you've been playing a lot of like longer, heavier games since October.
Yeah, and that's really what it is. Like since September, starting September, I had played and beaten, what's the word? Chrono Trigger, 9 fucking Resident Evil games, Pokemon, and I've really been grinding hard at these games, and it's just like, I finished Pokemon, and I'm just like, I need a break from, like, that. So I was like, my streams have been, like, back and forth between Monster Hunter and Pokemon, or, like, Monster Hunter and something else. And so it was just like, you know what, playing the Mega Man games is going to be a good, just, like, break, but also still give me good content to potentially put up on YouTube, because some of these streams, like, these just generic Monster Hunter streams, I don't know if I'm going to put up on YouTube. But, like, the story-based streams where I'm playing games and beating them in one sitting, or playing them to beat them through the story, like, those are more of what I'll be putting on YouTube, so it's just, like, it gives me more.
So, when are you going to go back to your Metroidvania thing and actually play some Vanias?
That, I don't know. Probably after the X games. Probably after I'm done the Mega Man X games, I might jump into doing, like, some sort of Metroidvania style game. Maybe try Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Or
Castlevania 2?
I don't know. I don't know. Like, I've never really been a fan of Castlevanias, but I've never really played a lot of them. So I know I don't like the original Castlevania. But that's not very Metroidvania.
I would love to Drew, actually, is Castlevania 2 or 3 the weird one? I think it's Simon's Quest,
2.
right?
Yeah, that's 2.
Okay. I would be interested for you to play Simon's Quest and see if you like it or not, because that's the, like, super divisive one where, like, it's very weird, it's very different from the first game, and a lot of people don't like it.
I mean,
kind of like Zelda 2.
If they're available on Switch, I could definitely give it a shot.
Yeah, it was part of one of the. It's part of one of the Castlevania collections.
Yeah, but, like, I mean, I'm saying, like, Switch Online, like the NES or
no, those games are not
SNES.
In that stuff.
Yeah,
not that I don't believe so.
I'm probably not going to put money towards a Castlevania game, because I personally, like I said, I never liked the original. I've never really played any others. Like, if because Symphony of the Night is the one that, like, gives us the Castlevania or the Metroidvania name. Like, that's, like, the first one, really, that was, like, very Metroidvania, if I remember correctly. I'll give that a shot.
That is the game that they use that term for, but other Castlevanias did have that sort of, like, it's not as heavily done as Symphony of the Night, but, like...
But, like, that was the first one, wasn't it? It was the first one that was the Metroidvania style.
I think, like, Rondo of Blood or 3 or something that came before that one had it, but, like, Symphony of the Night was, like, the most popular and the one that sort of, like, helped cement that style along with Super Metroid.
Yeah, so, like, I'm willing to do Symphony of the Night, but, like...
But if you're going to do Symphony of the Night, you have to do Rondo of Blood.
Why?
Because it's a direct sequel. The beginning of Symphony of the Night is the end of Rondo of Blood.
I mean, maybe. We'll see. I don't know. I'm not thrilled with Castlevania.
But you've only ever played one of them.
Yeah, but I don't know what it is. It's just something just pushes me away from Castlevania. I don't know why. I can't really explain it. So, like, I do want to go back to doing, like, some Metroidvanias, but, like, there's games, Elder Lilies, I believe is what it was called, or Ender Lilies, one of those.
Ender Lilies, Quietus of the Night.
Yeah, that one. I've wanted to play that for the past year.
It's apparently very good.
Yeah. But I haven't done that, and I've honestly also kind of been wanting to just play Metroid Dread again.
It was a good game. You could do the super hard mode.
Yeah, I could. I also been wanting to play, like, Mario Odyssey again, because that was also a fantastic game. But I don't know what that's the thing right now. I just really don't know what I want to play. And not saying that, like, giving me suggestions is or isn't a good idea, but, like, because I'm just, like, not 100% thrilled with a lot of games right now, giving me suggestions, I just, like, sit there and, like, I don't know, but I'm just, like, I don't know what I want right now. Like, I'm having a lot of fun playing a lot more Monster Hunter right now, so, like, I'm gonna be sticking to a lot of Monster Hunter, and maybe trying other games on occasion, but it's, right now, I'm, like, kind of set with Mega Man, and we'll go from there.
I am pulling my sub, then.
You're not... You're not subbed.
I am. You just keep ignoring
What?
me like an asshole.
No, do you sub anonymously?
No, I just go in and I click the fucking sub with Prime.
But do you have the sub anonymously button clicked?
No.
Because I never get notifications that you sub.
No, you're the only streamer I've ever seen that doesn't just get them automatically. You only get them if people announce them.
No, I don't think Anthony. I got a sub from Anthony yesterday. I don't know if he announced it or not, but like, you can sub anonymously.
I know that, and I do not have that checked.
I don't know what it is, but it's not just me. I get the sub, but it's not going to give me the notification unless you tell it to give me the notification, I guess. I really don't know.
Any other thing I subscribe to, they just get the little notification after I sub. It's usually like a 15-second delay.
I mean, I have auto subs, and it won't give a notification till after I'm in their first stream, after the auto sub has been paid. But it also, if I tell it not to notify, they're not going to know. I'm not the only one.
Like
everyone, you have to notify them.
You don't. Like, I don't
I've
actively
never
notify
seen that,
anybody.
Then I don't know what to tell you, Cop. Because I've gone
you
into.
Ignore
I have.
Me. What?
No,
you
I have.
Ignore
No,
me.
please stop. Please stop. Because I don't. I have not gotten a fucking notification from you in however many months it is that you've been subbed for. I have zero.
Look, I do not. I'm usually when I sub, I don't even have the volume on. I'm just jumping in and giving you my my Twitch Prime. I'm just fucking with you, but you ignore me. You don't care. You don't care about my sub, and you're ignoring me, and that's rude.
Because I can totally go on to. Let's see if they're live right now. Because I had an auto sub for someone. If they usually go live on Wednesdays. I don't know if she's live right now, but I can go on there and just dismiss the notification, and she's not going to know that I am subbed again this month.
So I don't have any auto.
It's
subs.
not going to tell her. I know this, but when you go into a stream that you are auto subbed, it tells you, oh, your subscription renewed. Do you want to let them know? And you can dismiss that.
Which, like, yes, I understand that, and like, anytime I subscribe to anybody, I get the little banner where you can post like a message in chat to like announce it. I never do that, but like most other streamers that I subscribe to, they automatically get the little like they have their little stream notification just for the sub, not for the like post.
I have it for the sub, and
that's very weird.
I don't know, like I don't know, man.
Your stream doesn't like me.
I mean, who does?
Not your stream.
I mean, but who does, though?
I don't know, people. I'm apparently very popular at work.
That's weird.
It's right? It's very strange. We had our office Christmas party, and I've never gone before, and people were very excited.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Like listen, man, your guess is as fucking good as mine. Anyway, what did you think of Wednesday?
I thought it was fine.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm not saying it was bad. I think it might be a little overhyped.
I didn't like the ending.
So I went into this not knowing anything about the series. I didn't watch anything. I didn't read anything. I just went into it, and the first thing I reacted to was, oh wow, it's 45 minutes to an hour long each episode. I thought this was a half-hour comedy. I thought this was a comedy. That was my first mistake, and it's not a mistake. It's not a comedy. It is Netflix's take on a CW show.
It is a teen-targeted dramedy.
Yeah. And it was fine. Like it was enjoyable. It was good. The acting and the writing was very well done. I didn't like how the villain looked when like he was in his form, but besides that, like everything else was really cool, really interesting, and like neat concepts. But overall, I was just like, at the end of it, I was like, yeah, I was able to sit here and watch this in 2 days because I had nothing else going on. But if I had other things going on, probably wouldn't have finished this as fast as I did.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't have felt the need to finish it as fast.
And honestly, part of the reason that you might have just felt a little lackluster on it is because of how fast you finished it. Like, we did not binge it in over 2 days. Like, we watched like a couple episodes each day for like a week or so. Because like, it was good, but it wasn't like I need to immediately watch the next episode good. But like, it was good enough where it's like, I want to watch more of it.
Yeah, and that's like, yeah, it's, and that's how it was with me. I was like, I want to watch it. And like, on Saturday, I was like, I've got nothing going on for the next 3 hours. I have 3 episodes left. Let's finish it off. Like, I think it was 8, 9 episodes. I watched like the first 5 or 6 on Friday, and then the last 3 on Saturday. And like, yeah, I was like, this is good. This is a very good show. But I see people out there saying, "Oh, it's so amazing, it's awesome, it's a must watch." I'm like, you're going a little far with it. I think it's really good.
I don't know. I think given like what current TV there is, like things that are like out right now, like it is probably one of the best things like out for, like this season. Let's call it.
I mean,
I don't know how else you'd like signify like that anymore, but
that's the problem though with it's Netflix. Like there's so much that has been released. Warrior of None 2 season 2 just came out as well.
Yeah,
and I hear that's very, very good.
Yeah, I haven't watched that yet.
It also got canceled.
Yeah, but and they had zero marketing announcing. Like I just happened to when I loaded up Netflix to watch Wednesday, it was on my list as like this just came out. I'm like, I didn't even know they were making a season 2.
Yeah, and it's like I feel like a lot like that show would probably be. I haven't watched it. I'm not saying I have no interest in watching it. I just haven't gotten around to watching it. But like I haven't seen anything about it except for you talking about the first season, and I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna watch the show that everyone's talking about to see what all the hype is. And this is all right. This is a good show, but like I see people online like complaining like Warrior of None is getting 100%, 99% on Rotten Tomatoes, but it's getting canceled. It's like, well, it's not Stranger Things, unfortunately. And it probably costs too much to make based on its viewer percentage and pickup. So there's no point in them keeping Warrior of None. And it's just like Netflix has
it's also
so
just called
much
Warrior None. There's no of in there.
Whatever. But like, it's just there's so much out and there's so much being released on Netflix that like to say that this is the best show of the season, but like you only watched 1 or 2 shows of the however many shows were released because of how much Netflix and Hulu and everything else has. It's hard like, to say.
Looking at like what else is out there and like the other things I have watched that are coming out right now and that are popular, it was the best of those things. And like I watch more TV than you do. Like you don't really watch things.
No.
Like it is the best show of the fall season. The last episode, not great. The rest of the season, really enjoyable.
Sure. Yeah, I feel like that's part of it too. Like the last episode just went places.
Yeah, like it was very out of like I feel like that whole pilgrim thing in the last episode, very out of nowhere. Like
I could have done without all of the pilgrim shit. Like I know they were trying to reference Addams Family 2, whatever that was called. Like
I don't know that they really were like that. They used a few bits as like callbacks, but like that whole thing was just the way they handled that last episode. Like I feel like there were other ways where they could have made the villains without it went a little too supernatural and there was no build up to it.
Yeah. Like and the other thing that like kind of drove me nuts was like Wednesday is supposed to be very smart, very perceptive, and it's a detective show. She's supposed to be a very good detective. And for her to be blindsided by who the actual villain was, I was just like, come on. She would have known this. She would have caught on day one. Like, I caught on day one. She would have known this. But I liked it.
But
I just...
Also, that actress absolutely nailed the deadpan.
Oh yeah, Jenna Ortega was fantastic. And like the casting decisions for all the lead characters was amazing.
Yeah, it did have a very strong cast. Like nobody was bad at what they were doing.
Like even what's his name? The dad.
Luis Guzman.
Luis Guzman. He was like, I've only seen him in comedy roles. I've never seen him take anything serious. And like this show wasn't super serious, but also wasn't comedy. And he did very well in like the parts and the roles in the role that he had. Like,
see, I did not really enjoy him in the role. Like I think he physically fit the role, but I think part of it was him and Catherine Zeta-Jones had zero chemistry. So like, he did not feel right for it. Fred Armisen as Uncle Fester though was fantastic. He was so fucking good.
That's why like I kept meaning to look up who played Fester because like I was like, who was this? Who was this? And it just kept trying to figure it out. And that made, Fred Armisen was amazing as him.
Gwendolyn Christie as the fucking principal was also very good.
Oh, when I saw Gwendolyn Christie, I was like, no way! How'd they get her?
And the girl that plays her roommate was also very good as just like this like overly excited like rainbow verse. Like it was a very like obvious foil to each other, but like I thought it worked very well.
Yeah, it was a good series. It's probably because it's super popular, probably gonna at least get a second season, if not 2 more.
It broke the record that the last season of Stranger Things set for like streaming on Netflix, so I would be surprised if it didn't get at least 1 more season.
Yeah. I wonder where they're gonna take it from here, because it's just like the way they ended it, the way they like set things up. Like I wasn't expecting it to be all that supernatural, and then they just made it into this whole big supernatural thing, and now it's like, all right, well, mystery solved, but was it really? I mean, it was solved, but like how they ended with the villain, it was just like, that's stupid.
And I mean, they left it open for more.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that might be a show, unless either of you guys have anything else you want to say.
Taking Back Sunday was really good live.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you went to see them. Well,
Starland Ballroom's in the middle of fucking nowhere.
That's up in North Jersey, right?
Yeah, it's like outside, not too far from New Brunswick. But
do you see the Interrupters are playing the Fillmore in like May or something like that, or April? I got an email for the pre-sale for them. But was Taking Back Sunday like anything like it's like it's like 20th anniversary time for a lot of those like that era of music, or was it just a normal ass show for them?
So this is their 8th annual holiday bash at Starland Ballroom.
Oh, that's right. I forgot they did that. Because they're from North Jersey, aren't they?
Yeah, some of them are, for sure. That band's changed a whole bunch of members over the years, but
that's true.
I do believe like Adam Lazzara is from North Jersey. But yeah, so they do that show at Starland Ballroom every year.
Nice. Yeah, I did not realize that. So it actually looks like they are from Long Island.
Okay, yeah, all right.
Which is close enough.
No.
Look,
it's not.
Long Island and North Jersey, not that different.
Sure, but you can't say Long Island is close enough to Jersey, because then that's how we get Jersey Shore ass.
No, those are from Staten Island. 2 different islands.
There's too many islands in New York.
I mean,
there's 3.
Yeah,
it's too many.
There's Long Island, Staten Island, and Manhattan.
Get rid of one of them.
Actually, I guess Manhattan's more of a peninsula, isn't it?
No, Manhattan's an island.
Manhattan's an island. It's fully an island.
Oh, is it? For some reason, I thought like the northern part of Manhattan connected to the Bronx, but I guess there is a bridge for that, isn't there? New Jersey is a peninsula.
Isn't it the Bronx Bridge?
I don't think so. Is New Jersey actually connected to anything?
Yeah, it's connected
New York
to,
State.
Yeah,
and Pennsylvania.
A little bit. Yeah.
Well, like all of the main ways to leave this state involve a bridge and a toll.
Yeah, because it's South Jersey. If you go up to North Jersey, there's still a toll because you're taking the turnpike, but you don't need a bridge to get out of Jersey from north.
I don't know that I've never driven into Pennsylvania or New York State from New Jersey. Like I've always driven into Manhattan. Mm-hmm. So like you have to take a bridge or tunnel to get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that'll do it. Next week we'll be back. We'll talk about Batman Returns for Christmas.
Nice.
But other than that, if you'd like to find more of our content, you can head over to www.one-quest.com. You can also find us on patreon.com/onequest. You can support us there, help us out, nice things like that. If you can't support us with dollars, though, you can support us by going to your favorite podcast platform, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, a whole bunch of places. Rate us, review us, and subscribe to us. It all helps a whole lot. You can also find us on social media. Facebook.com/OneQuestOnline or at @1_Quest on Instagram and Twitter. Our YouTube channel is YouTube.com/OneQuestVideo. And you can always send us an email to social@one-quest.com. And Rich, what bullshit are you doing?
So Mondays are Mega Man X games. Tuesdays are Monster Hunter. Thursdays are probably going to be Pokemon for a little bit. And then Sundays are just whatever I can figure out. Because I don't have a major set schedule for Sundays. So come check me out on twitch.tv/B_.
Valid. All right. And with that, we will be back next week with something else to talk about. Thanks for listening. Bye.
See yous.